Welcome back everybody, let's have a look at Matic then, shall we? So I just made a video on Bitcoin, but very briefly, before we go into Matic, we've broken down a little bit now, and we hit the descending trend like we always do, and we have done since all this time back here. So a really predictable move, very predictable move, and so always looking to short. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice, but anytime you're looking for a pullback at the moment, we're waiting for it to touch or just break above on a bit of a flash buy up, and get above this descending trend, and then basically looking to place a short or just just wait for it to come back down again. Every time we're looking for a rejection, we're looking for this level here basically. At the moment we've obviously been rejected from that level. You couldn't make it more perfect than this. I mean, every single time getting rejected from it. The rejection we had today brought us down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. The Bollinger Band is now tightening up on Bitcoin, which means that we've got a very small amount of price action to be moving around. And Bitcoin doesn't like to do that, so it's going to make a big move one way or another, whether that's a break up or a breakdown. I expect a breakdown followed by a possible reversal to go bullish. So where does this leave us with Matic? Now Matic has basically fallen out of the sky. Unfortunate for Matic, because I did love this coin and I still do, but for the moment I cannot trade it. It's just not tradable. We've got a tiny little skinny itchy cloud beneath us here, which we broke down beneath today. Looks like we're coming back down beneath it again, because the entire market's bearish at the moment. Bitcoin's dictating the market and it's forcing Matic to go further and further down. And if you look at the price action where we actually hit the bottom today, it was below the majority of the accumulation zone. The accumulation zones took place for the last couple of months, and since this level here, where we broke above the green 50 exponential moving average, we stayed above there the entire time, leading to this big move. This is what I've been talking about for all those months, waiting for this big move to take place. As soon as we got the golden cross, we were set and ready to go. Now what's happened is that we've broken down so significantly that we're back down, not just beneath the 50, but also beneath the 200 EMA, and that's basically an extremely bearish sign. Any coin, especially Matic, once you get beneath this 200 EMA, you're going to be battling to get above it. So we're going to really struggle to break above this level here, which is actually descending a little bit at the moment. So today's level is 1.7 cent, we'll call it. We're going to really struggle to break above that level now. So it's looking extremely bearish. The longer that we stay beneath here, the more likely it is for us to get a death cross, and that death cross is probably going to play out if we don't break above there. And like I say, it will be a battle to get above there. And with a market that's currently short term looking for a big pullback of around about 20% or so, it's not going to work out well for Matic. I still think we're on for a 1 cent Matic, which is actually exactly where the bottom of the Bollinger Band currently is. We could make it down there on the daily chart, no problem at all. Absolutely would not surprise me if that's where we ended up. Before we had a bit of a bounce, I guess, because there's still a lot of interest in the coin, a lot of people looking to pick that up. I know that for a fact from the lads on my Telegram group. They're very keen to be picking it up at this level. What I would say is that, yeah, for a long-term investment, feel free to do that, but you'll be out of the game for a short, well, maybe not so short, but you'll be out of the game for a while. There's other things that you could do to make money while we're waiting for Matic to decide what it wants to do with its life. At the moment, I'm pretty sure we all know what it does want to do with its life, which is to make its way closer and further towards 1 cent. Even if it does get to 1 cent, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to bounce from there. I'm sure we will see a bounce, because there'll be a lot of people very interested in buying that coin up. But as far as the chart's concerned, the chart will need to reset, and with indicators and moving averages that look like this, that's going to take weeks to months, I would say, to comfortably reset for me to be able to make any kind of informed decision on to what to do with this coin. Now, whether or not to trade it, or if we're just going to wait for it to make lower lows. There's no reason for it to go bullish again, I'm telling you that right now, for the very fact that we're making new lows every day at this point. The market is bearish, it's going to drag us down with it. All indicators are facing down, even though they were only just really bullish like a week ago. Right now they're the complete opposite. You couldn't get more bearish. This looks like it's going to cause an enormous catastrophe if all these begin to cross, and they are starting to cross each other now, but the important one is for this green to cross that white. That will create a significant sell-off, and it looks like we're probably going to get that, in all fairness. Again, this skinny little cloud that we're on right now is going to tell us if we're going to be stuck beneath that, which would be a level of about 1.4 cent area. If we get beneath there, that will end up being a resistance for us too. So everything about Matic right now is very scary, and I wouldn't want to be involved with it right now. However, I am always going to be interested in this coin because it will make, and it does make, historically has made enormous moves in the past. But the only moves that it's looking to make now is down, unfortunately. We cannot trade a coin that looks like this. It's just not tradable. It's absolutely not tradable, and I would never margin trade a small cap altcoin. There's really, I mean, Bitcoin's volatile enough and unpredictable enough, despite having a reasonably good handle on what's going on with Bitcoin. I mean, it's as far as any chart is concerned, it's usually more predictable than most. That said, anything can happen with Bitcoin too. So bearing that in mind, you've got to stare at Matic and you've got to think to myself, why would I trade this on a margin trade? Even if you're looking to go short, you know, the whole asset is extremely volatile, and after a big move like this, it's just going to be completely unpredictable. The only things I can say is the support and resistances. The support, I would say we're looking at around about 1.2 cent area for a decent bounce, but we're going to be stuck under so many resistance levels, and over the coming week I'd say these moving averages are fast approaching. You know, they are going to be knocking this price down really hard if we can't get above this 200 EMA, which I'm telling you now is going to be a real task, probably an impossible task given the situation of the entire market right now. So you think Matic's cheap now, you just give it another month and you'll see 1 cent or lower will easily be achievable, given what I'm looking at right now. And then we can decide, you know, and I'm going to say we're going to have to wait 2 or 3 months, give it that length of time before we decide whether or not to reinvest in that. You know, for me, it's all about the charts. Fundamentals do count for something, you know, as in like long-term price predictions. That does help, you know, when you look at fundamentals. But when you look at the way that something's going to go and how you imagine it to play out over the next day to weeks, charts tell you quite a lot. And I know people say technical analysis doesn't work, but you know, it kind of does. If it didn't work, I wouldn't be making money, and I do make money quite regularly using only technical analysis. Otherwise you're just gambling. And I can tell you now, we called the bottom, we called the top on Matic. At the moment I can't call anything other than the fact that it's going to be a real battle to get up here, and if we're down below this area at this point now, in about, I'll probably give it a couple of weeks, we're going to go down to the 1 cent and maybe lower. Like I say, you know, anything is possible, but the market is bearish. Matic's clearly bearish, so you put those two together and what do you get? You know, two bears don't make a bull, do they? So I'm going to have to leave it with you there anyway, but I hope, you know, like I say, I'm not a financial advisor, this isn't financial advice, but I hope you kind of understand where I'm going with all of this. You know, we have a bearish Bitcoin, we have an extremely bearish altcoin. Doesn't matter what Matic do as a company, they're clearly a very capable company, with a very unfortunate scenario that keeps playing out with them, with these huge pumps and dumps. I wouldn't say they're in any way to blame for that. That's trading for you, and this is trading on steroids right now. So, you know, what do you expect? Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice evening. Take it easy.